it's Bree from Create with Bree, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be doing a flip through of my planner for 2023. I want to wish everybody a happy new year, and I can't wait to show you guys how I have my planner system set up for next year. It took me a good while to figure out what I wanted to do for next year. I really didn't start working on this setup until about maybe 1 or 2 weeks ago, just because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but I think I have a good setup here to start the year off, and hopefully I can keep up with it throughout the year or make changes where I need to. So if you're interested in seeing how I have my planner set up for next year, make sure you keep watching. Okay, so I generally try to keep one planner if I can throughout the year, just because I think having multiple planners and multiple books, for me, it can be a little bit daunting and overwhelming. So I try to squeeze as much stuff as I can into one planner so that I can just focus on that one book. So the cover that I have here, this is the contoured leather cover from Cloth and Paper in the white. I thought it would be a great way to start off the year with a nice bright white color, or it's more of like a cream kind of color or off-white color. But I love it so much. This is in the HP Classic size. I waited and waited for them to come out with these HP Classic size covers, so I actually have them all. So I'll probably switch it out throughout the year, but really happy with this one and starting out the new year with this. So that's the cover that I'm using. It has gold hardware, which I love. If we open her up here. So over here, I have various planner cards. Most of them are from Cloth and Paper. I have a few of their magnetic clips here just to hold some of the cards together. I have a few bows from Scheduled Planners here, which I love those bows. I have almost all of those as well. So I just went with, muted color scheme this year. Blacks, neutrals, whites, which are like my favorite. And so yeah, so I have the inside cover of the inside of the agenda cover set up here. And then this is my planner. So I'm gonna pull it out of the cover just because this doesn't lay that flat. So I'm gonna take this away. So this is my planner. This is a cover from the Happy Planner. This is probably my favorite cover that they've ever made. I love the messaging. I love the neutral colors, the minimal design. I just love it so much. So it just says find the beauty in today. So I probably will keep this cover throughout the whole year unless I find something else that I really like. But I really, really love this cover, and I'll be definitely keeping this in my rotation for years to come. And then on the back, it's just the same kind of black and white stripe. And I have 1.5-inch metal discs from Cloth and Paper, and they're in black, which I love. I prefer discs that do not have any cutouts, so that's why I don't tend to use the Happy Planner discs. So I love that the Cloth and Paper ones don't have any cutouts and that they're also metal. So those are the discs that I'm using. So if we open her up, so I also like this inside cover as well, just the black and white. I think it really goes well with how I have things set up and the aesthetic that I'm going for. So I love this. I have my name in here. So this is a name sticker from Alicia Michelle XO, I believe. So I have a bunch of name stickers, so I just created this little name tag to put in my planner, which I can pop in and out of whichever planner I'm using. On the back here, I have my contact information, so in the event that I lost my planner, whomever finds it can get in contact with me to return it. However, I probably won't be taking this planner outside of my home much. I tend to use my phone on the go, so I use my phone and then this planner to keep track of everything that I have going on, so probably won't be taking it out much. Okay, and so then I have just another deco card here. It says abundance, which, you know, I think is a great word for 2023. I don't have an official word just yet. I still have a little bit of time before I need to have one. So it is New Year's Eve, so I'll try to pick a word for this year. But abundance is, you know, definitely a word that I want to keep in mind as well throughout the year. Then I have my trusted task cards here. These are 2 deco cards from Cloth and Paper. And then underneath I have my task cards just for different, you know, areas of my life and kind of like recurring things that I want to do regarding those areas in my life. So these I just use every year. And I do have a video showing how I hacked this for an A5 size because that's the other size that I like to use. But for the last year or so, I've been mainly using just the HP Classic size. So I do have a video showing how I hacked this this card holder to fit into an A5 size as well. So if you're interested in that, you can check that out. On the back here, I keep my morning tasks and my evening tasks. And I have this set up where I don't have specific times for each of these items because I don't want to, you know, limit myself or, you know, bring on any extra anxiety of trying to, you know, complete each of these things during the times that I set. So I just kind of list the things I want to get done in the morning, list the things I want to get done in the evening after work, and then I have my times that I want to wake up on work days and off days, and times I want to go to bed on work nights and off nights. So I just kind of look at what I got going on for the day and try to get these things done within the time frame of me waking up in the morning and starting my day, and then my wind down for the end of the night. So I just have those things listed here. And next we have a Vellum sheet. This is from the Planner Shop. Yes, the Planner Shop. So this is just one of her vellum sheets, which I really like this. It has, you know, more great words. So maybe I'll have multiple words for for next year. But, you know, it says hustle, dreams, goals, plans. So I really love that. And then next I have a few dashboards from Cloth and Paper, which I love their dashboards. I always, you know, refer to them as artwork in your planner. So I just really love these, and I love these 2 layered together. So that's kind of like my inside cover. Then I have kind of my sort of, I guess this is going to be like an inbox for me, but really just keeping track of things that I'm starting, things that I have in progress, and then things that I have completed. So throughout the weeks, months, quarters, I can kind of keep track of tasks from my master task list with this. And so that's also from Cloth and Paper. Then I have another dashboard that has some embossed lettering here, which I love that. Next is my planner routine. So these are just kind of tasks or things that I want to do from a planner standpoint, yearly, quarterly, monthly, bi-weekly, weekly, and daily. And then I have a key here, which I'm going to be using this key on my master task list to kind of keep track of tasks that fall into these categories. So that's what I have here. And then next, I have just a list of family meetings and kind of the different things that I want my family to discuss during those meetings. And so it's broken down with annual meetings, quarterly meetings, monthly meetings, and weekly meetings or weekly check-ins. And so these are just quick little reminders of things that I want to make sure we're keeping track of and that we're discussing during those meetings. Next, I have family health maintenance. And these are inserts that I created myself, these ones here. So if you're interested in these, just let me know. I might list them in my shop or give them out as a freebie. So just let me know if you are interested in these. But this is a family health maintenance sheet that I created just to keep track of our annual health exams, dental exams, eye exams, all of that kind of stuff, our flu shots. And so that's what this is for. I have some notes here for things that, don't kind of fall into these categories, but, just for notes. So, health is really important to me. I'm a doctor, so I want to make sure that my family are keeping up with our appointments and our annual health maintenance. So that's what this sheet is for. And I just put these sheets in the front just because I want to have, easy access to those. So I keep those up here in the front. And I have a school calendar for my step kiddos. And I have actually 3 years worth of that school calendar. So even for future planning, I can kind of see what the school year is going to look like. So 2022, 2023, and then 2024. And I have a folder here just for any loose papers or things that I need to keep track of. I have this folder here for that. This is from the Happy Planner. I think it's from the Work Life Collection, maybe. I'm not sure if that's the correct name, but it's from the Happy Planner, and I love that it's just minimal, and it just really falls in line with my aesthetic. So next we'll get into my top tabs here that I have, and so I have this broken down by yearly, monthly, weekly, and daily. That's kind of the flow of how I like to plan. So I have those top tabs listed there. So if we go to the yearly section, I have a few year-to-glance pages here. And so this first one is going to be me tracking things for work, vacation days, and days off. So I already started tracking a few things already for the first 2 months of the year. So as I mentioned, I am a physician, so I do take calls. So I've been tracking my call days on here, meetings for work, and then days that I'm off. So that's what I'll be using this sheet for. And there's some notes in the back that I could use. Then this is a holidays and observance page. So just to keep track of all the different holidays throughout the year. And these are from Cloth and Paper, more notes. And then here I have an at a glance page. And this is just to keep track of appointments and important dates throughout the year that I need to keep in mind with planning. And this is the first half of the year, and then the second half back here. And then I have my birthday list. So I would just like to look at this every month to see whose birthday is coming up, if I need to, send any cards or give any calls or text or send any gifts. Okay, and then I have a anniversaries list as well. So some of my close friends, I like to keep track of their wedding anniversary. So I'm doing that with this sheet. Next, I have this yearly goals insert from Cloth and Paper. So I'm going to be using this to kind of map out goals for the year. And this is kind of just a general look of goals I want to set for the year. You can break it down based on category, and then you have, different milestone times throughout the year when you want to hit those goals. So you have 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, and then 1 year out. So I'm going to use this to kind of map out just general overall goals for the year. Then this is also from Cloth and Paper. It's kind of a year preparation sheet, just kind of looking at how you want your year to look. And I actually feel like I probably should put this in front of this page, but I kind of like this yearly goals here. Well, I'll just leave it for now. So let's just leave this here. So I'll fill this out, hopefully before tomorrow, which tomorrow is New Year's. And then I have a yearly overview insert from Cloth and Paper. So with this, I plan to be more specific with those goals. I have calendars here to kind of keep track of deadlines and dates when I want to hit certain things. So I plan to use this to break down my goals monthly, or well, quarterly, and then monthly as well. So that's what I have this for. The whole year. Then you have some space for aspirations for the year, which I may end up using this for like maybe a vision board. And then you can talk about your accomplishments for the year, the end of the year, and then you have a year review. So I'll fill this out at the end of the year. And I apologize if the lighting is in and out. It's a little gloomy today, and I'm trying to just use natural light, but we'll see how this turns out. Okay, so then we get into my monthly, and so this is kind of your monthly, I guess you can call it a currently page maybe for the first, for the month. And then my tab is right in between the monthly insert here. So when I flip to it, I can just get directly to the month that I'm working on. So this is my monthly view. Again, this is where I'll keep track of important dates, appointments, that kind of thing. Okay, and then if I flip to the next page, that's when I get into my weekly, and I have the horizontal layout by Cloth and Paper, which is one of my favorites. So I'll be using this again this year. So this is where I'll do my weekly plans. And then if I flip to the back of the weekly section, let's see, I actually have a weekly schedule. So I'll plan to use this as just like a standard week. So, you know, things I want to do on Mondays, Tuesday, Wednesdays, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, things I want to do on that specific day every week, no matter what. So this will be just a reference point to look to with planning my weeks and my days of things that I want to do every week during those times or on those days. So that's what I'll use that for. And then we get into our daily section, and then I have the morning mindset, half sheet dashboard here from Cloth and Paper. And this just has some really good questions to kind of keep in mind with planning your day. So I have that there. And then I'm going to be using the Cloth and Paper daily sheets for 2023. So I have enough sheets in here for a month. So generally I'll be keeping a month at a time in my planner. And then at the end of the month, I'll move all of my January stuff out and move in the February stuff. So that's kind of what I'm going to be doing throughout the year. So I have enough sheets for 1 month in here. Next, we get into my subject sections. And so the first section is finances. So I have another year at a glance page here where I'll keep track of paydays. So I've already put those in here for the year. And then there's some section for notes here. And then I have a few inserts that I created myself. So this is a monthly budget page. This is where I'll just keep track of all of our bills that we have due each month and kind of the due date that they're typically due on, just so I can quickly reference this when I'm doing our finances for the month, or bi-weekly. I can kind of look and see what's all due within that time frame and what that expense is and what the typical amount it is. So that's what I'll use in this for. Then I have these quarterly inserts for finances, and I did create these, and I'll probably list them on my shop. I'm working on some exciting things for 2023 regarding my shop, so this will definitely be available hopefully by the end of the year in a printed planner, so we'll see how that goes. So for now, I'm testing them out this year. I'm not sure if I'll make them available digitally. I may. I'm still trying to figure all that out, so I'll keep you guys posted. But these are some financial inserts that I created, and they're broken down quarterly. So this is kind of the cover for the first quarter, and then it's a 2-page spread. And there's a lot going on here, but I tend to like to look at things all together. So for me, this is going to really be helpful. So over here, I have, so there's some notes here. So start, there's a note section here. And then I have an income tracker here, and it's broken down monthly. And so it has the first, the 3 months within that quarter. And then I can keep track of pay dates, where the source of that income, and the amount. Next, we move into keeping track of expenses and savings. So this section, I can keep track of due dates, the expenses for each month. So it's broken down where you can put those expenses for each month in that quarter. So due date, expense, budgeted amount, and then here you would put the actual amount for each month. Down here is where you can keep track of any savings that you're doing for each of those months. So you put the date, savings, or what you're saving for, or what account you may be using, what your goal is, and then you can put what you actually saved for those months. Over here is where you can list sinking funds. So sinking funds are going to be things that are not due monthly. They may be due annually. They may be due quarterly. Just things that are typically usually due once a year or just a few times a year. So I'll be keeping track of those expenses over here so that I don't forget about them, because that's one of the things that can happen with me is I can forget about things that I have due that fall into the sinking fund category. So I like to have a section to keep track of those. So when you're doing your budgeting for each month, you can kind of look over here and say, oh, okay, my Pandora radio bill is due in January, so I can account for that when I'm doing budgeting for the rest of the month. And then down here is a debt payment tracker. So just keeping track of any debts that you have going on, what your starting balance is for the quarter. So again, this is going to be quarterly with the debt payment. So starting balance for the quarter, amount you paid throughout that quarter, and then the new balance that you'll carry over into the next quarter. And so I have one of these for each quarter. So I have all 4 quarters in here already. And I just think for that aspect, for finances, I think I want to keep everything for the whole year together throughout the year of planning. So I have all 4 quarters already in here ready to go. Okay, and then again, this is not available just yet. I'm testing it out, but I am considering listing it digitally, and then I'm hoping that I'll be able to incorporate it into a printed planner for 2024. So keep on the lookout for that. Then I have, each of those quarters also has a notes page at the back. Then I have a purchase tracker. So I plan to use this for just like major purchases. So I won't keep track of every, all the minute little expenses on here, but this will be for kind of major things, like anything for our home or, any major purchases that we make. That's what that sheet will be for. This next section is home and family. And this is a dashboard that I created. I have another sticker from Alicia Michelle XO. This is the Hepburn. So this will be kind of the dashboard or the cover page for this section. I've had this for a while and I haven't written anything or filled anything out on it just because I think it looks so pretty and I don't want to mess it up. So I really want to be intentional about what I put on here. So hopefully this year we'll get it filled out. So I, for now, haven't put anything on here, but I hope to fill it out this year. So in this section, right now I have a meal planner, and this is from Cloth and Paper, and I just laminated this, added a few of my stickers from Create with Bree, and I plan to reuse this monthly, and so I used some more of my Create with Bree stickers here just to kind of customize this a little bit for me. So I either will use a wet erase marker on here, or I might just use sticky notes to kind of keep track of meal planning, but I plan to use this for meal planning for the month. I believe under here it says like breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, but I want to use it for just dinners for the month. You know, the kiddos, they usually have lunch at school, and me and my husband typically take leftovers from dinner for lunch. And then everybody kind of fends for themselves for breakfast. So I mainly need something to plan for dinners and what we're eating throughout the week in terms of that main meal. So that's what I'll be using this for. And again, I probably will use sticky notes, but I also could also use this with wet erase markers. So that's the versatility of this. And then I'll write the month in here, or use a sticky note to put the month, and then I can reuse this every month. So that's what I'll use this for. And then I like that you can keep a running grocery list over here, so you kind of can just map out kind of what you're eating for the week. So that'll be helpful with figuring out what we need to order from the grocery store based on what meals we're having for the week. Okay. And then this back sheet is blank. I'll probably keep some of those sticky notes here because I'll probably be reusing them throughout the year. So I like to work smarter, not harder. So I'll probably be keeping track of a lot of those meals, like things that we like to eat regularly here, so I can just reuse those sticky notes or what have you. Then I have this weekly meal planner, and I have this here. I might not use this since I have this here, but this is just if I wanted to break down, you know, the week in more detail, I can do that here. And I'll probably do the same thing with sticky notes just so I can reuse this. I do have more of this insert, but I am trying to be less wasteful, so I may just use sticky notes on this too and just reuse it. And then on the back, I think why I kept this here is because I like how this breaks down your grocery lists based on category. So that's probably why I kept this here and probably will use it. Again, sticky notes. So next I have this hosting meal planner from Cloth and Paper. I really like this because I do like to host and I like to cook and I like to have people over. So I will be using these to kind of keep track of any events that we're having at our home and what the meal plan or what the menu is going to be for that event, what groceries and things I need. So I really like this insert. And I'll probably will just write on these just to keep them as a keepsake or just to kind of as a memory of that event. So I probably may not use sticky notes on these, and I do have a bunch of these, so I'll probably just write on these. And then on the back, again, you can kind of map out your meal. You can write more details about the event, things you need to do, and then your guest list here. So I love these. So that's all I have in my home and family section for now. I'm sure I may add, you know, more things here and there regarding my husband or the kiddos, so we'll see. Next, we have my wellness section. And I didn't talk about these dividers, but these are from Cloth and Paper. I've just been kind of reusing them each year, so they do look a little bit worn, but they still work. So this is another dashboard from Cloth and Paper. Okay. And so I have another year at a glance page here. So I'll be using this to keep track of my wellness routine, which I'm still kind of figuring out exactly what that's going to be for me daily. But once I do figure it out, I'll probably put a sticky note here so that I know what all those things are included in that wellness routine. And then I can keep track of each day that I complete all of those things. So that's what I'll be using this year at a glance page for. And this year at a glance page, I'll be tracking my menstrual cycle. So keeping track of the cycle days and ovulation days. Me and my husband are hoping to have a child this year. We're hoping and praying that 2023 is our year. So we will see how that goes. So I'll be using that to keep track of my cycle and ovulation. And next I have another monthly insert here, and I'll be using this to keep track of workouts and then health related things. So that's why I have this monthly. And then I do have another weekly section here. So I have the vertical layout, Cloth and Paper, and I plan to use this as like a wellness journal, a log of different health stats I want to keep track of, just in journaling, just kind of general wellness based information regarding myself. So I'll be doing that on a weekly basis. So I have the full month of January in here. Okay. And then I also have, I'm including some self-development things under wellness. I think that kind of all is encompassed in wellness. So I did used to have a separate section for self-development, but I decided to combine that with wellness this year, just to get rid of that tab and use it for something else. So I have a goal this year to really get into reading and reading more books. I cannot tell you the last time I read an entire book. I might start, I might get close to finishing, but I don't finish. So next year I really want to work on reading. So I have a number of books already lined up for me to start reading, but this is from one of the Cloth and Paper monthly subscription boxes that was, the theme was bibliophile, I think, and books. So this is kind of a monthly breakdown of books for the month. So I'm really excited about using this and keeping track of books that I read each month, and then can look back on this and see, how many books I read for the year. So I plan to use this to keep track of those. And then there's some notes here in the back. And let's see, I can show you the books that I have already purchased for the year. Okay, so the first one I have is the 12-week year. So I've heard a lot of good things about this book, so I can't wait to read it. I also have Atomic Habits. This is one of those books that I've started and haven't finished. I have Becoming from Michelle Obama. I love her. I also started this book and have not finished it, but I'm going to finish it next year. And then I have her new book, The Light We Carry. So I'll be reading this as well. So these are kind of the 4 that I have so far. So we'll see how this goes, and hopefully I'll be adding more and more books throughout the year, because that really is one of my major goals for next year. Okay, so back to my planner setup. So next I have mental download. And so I used to say brain dump, but I watched one of the Cloth and Paper happy hours, and Ashley was talking about how she doesn't like the word brain dump. And I was like, it doesn't sound that appealing when you say it. So I switched it to mental download, which is what she said. She's like, oh, it sounds better when you say mental download. And I agree with that. So I switched it to mental download. And so I have some more cloth and paper dashboards here, and this is one of my favorites. I'm the architect of days that haven't happened yet, so I love that. Okay, and then so here I just have some dot grid paper and some line paper, just a few sheets. And so this is just for just jotting things down, random things that don't necessarily have a home in my planner, just all kinds of notes and things just to kind of get things out of my mind. So I just have a few sheets here for that. So next is my business section. I decided to just have a section in my planner as opposed to having a separate planner for business, just because last year when I did have a separate planner for my business, I had a lot of things in there that I just wasn't using, and I feel like it was just, you know, a waste of paper and a waste of just space, really, because I didn't need a full planner for my business. A lot of the things I do for my business is digitally, so I don't really need a full planner for it. So I just have a section here. This used to be my self-development section, but I switched it out so that I can have a business section. I can't go into too much detail about this section because there is some sensitive information there, but I have my logo here that I just printed out on my printer. I do have another year at a glance page. I have a ton of these throughout my planner because I just like to look at things overall from a year standpoint. So I plan to keep track of releases, posts, and important dates here. Then I also have a year overview section. So the year overview that I had in the beginning of my planner is going to be more for personal things, work, all things related to me and my family. And then I did want to have a separate yearly overview to just focus on business goals. So I am going to be keeping those goals separate from my personal. So I just have another one of those. And then let's see. Well, that has the full year. And then I do have another monthly layout here. So this is what I'm going to be using for almost like an editorial calendar, keeping track of posts, keeping track of important dates and deadlines and release dates for my business. And then the rest of these pages are just kind of business information, so I won't share those. And then the last section that I have, excuse me, is a task section. And so this is my master task list. And so another cloth and paper dashboard. I really like this one. It has like a textured stock, textured cardstock. I really like that. And then I have my master task list. So this is another insert that I created. Again, I'm not sure if I'm gonna release this digitally. And I am, you know, hoping to develop a planner for 2024, and we'll likely include it in there as well. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. But this is just a master task list, and it basically breaks things down into tasks, which are quick things that you can do, which you just need to schedule and complete. And then there's projects, which are basically things you have to break down into parts. So basically you kind of decide if something is a task or a project. And I did not come up with this system. A lot of people have talked about it. I am blanking on what the name of it is, but there is a system that someone created and I liked it, so I wanted to use it. You write the item or the task or the project, and then you kind of can, if it's just a task, like I said, that's something you should be able to do and don't necessarily have to break down into parts. So then you just schedule it and you just complete it. And then your projects are things you need to break down that have multiple steps. So here I have preparation, scheduling the project, starting the project, when it's in progress, and then when it's completed. And so I will be using this as an overall master task list for all things, all aspects of my life and my business. And I can go back to that key that I had in the front here. Here it is. So this is the key, the color coding system that I'm going to be using for that master task list. So go back here, and I am so upset that I'm blanking on what this system is called. It's right at the tip of my tongue, but I will write it in the description what this system is called and who kind of coined it. So just again, it was not me. A lot of people in the planner community have been using the system as well, and I hope to use it to keep track of my running task list. And then for those projects, I created a insert to kind of break down that project even further. So again, the tasks are things you can just complete quickly. You don't need to break down into parts. But for those projects, I created this insert to keep track of those. So it just says project plans, your project title, so what that project is, your start date, your completion date, and then again breaking down those different parts of the project. So preparation, scheduled, starting, in progress, and completed, so you can keep track of that. Then I have just some note sections, some blank sections here, and then some grid paper here, just to kind of write down, you know, any notes about the project, any the different steps you need to take, any notes, research things you have to do. So that's what this sheet is for. And I left it, you know, pretty blank and not specific in terms of these sections, because you can really just kind of use it and customize it for whatever you need to customize it for based on what the project is. So really like how these turned out. Again, something that I am considering releasing digitally or including in a planner for 2024. So I'll be just kind of testing these things out for this year. And then, as I mentioned, if I decide to release them this year, I will let everybody know. So I have a few pages of that here. And then I have another folder at the back. Again, really love these folders because they're just minimal and they just fall or mesh well with just kind of my setup and color scheme that I have going on here. So yeah, so that is my full planner. Okay, let's put it back here. Again, I'm so happy with how the setup turned out, and I can't wait to share more with you guys throughout the year. I know I haven't posted much on my YouTube channel this year. Life sometimes gets a little crazy and I don't have a lot of time to post, but I'm hoping this year I'll be able to post more regularly and do some plan with me's and things of that nature, and keep you guys abreast to what's going on in my planner and how I've been planning. So I hope that if you enjoyed this video, you'll give it a thumbs up, and I hope that you'll consider subscribing to my channel, and because I do plan to do a lot more things in the future on my YouTube channel. And if you're returning, thanks for sticking around, and thanks for checking out another one of my videos. If you're not already following me on my social media platforms, it's Create with Bree. And I also have a planner shop where right now I've been offering sticker books, and I hope to design and do some additional products this year. Not just sticker books, but, you know, other paper products and different things. So I hope you'll check out my website and, you know, keep up with what I have going on for this year. So again, if you have any questions or concerns, you can pop those into the comments, and I'll get to those when I can. And I look forward to sharing more with you guys this year. So I'll talk to you guys next time. Thank you.